today our first speaker is Tracy Martin. She is an author, a speaker, a blog writer, and a self-proclaimed soul searcher who lives and works in the field of personal development and positive change. Her mission is to help people in transition to reinvent themselves from the inside out. And for inspiration, you can check her popular blog, Soul Set in Motion. Today she's going to be talking about how to get rid of fear and get happy while you're at it. Tracy, let's give her a...
Fear is what happens when we try to predict the future. When we use our ESP powers to predetermine that our life will not go well in any number of ways. For example, you might be giving your first speech and you're concerned that you might not remember all the words. You might be afraid of going on a first date and how you'll be perceived. You might be thinking that you're going to lose your job at the end of the year because of a recession. All of these outcomes seem as if they're outside of us and beyond our control. But however, 99% of our fears are actually criticisms and judgments that we place upon who we are and our abilities before we even get there. When we're afraid, we mostly assume that we're going to fail, that we won't or can't rise to the circumstances, whatever they are. We know that our negative self-talk is going to be there with us at the end to greet us and remind us of all the ways we could have been better. Rarely do we ever face the judgment and condemnation of others that we expect. Unless that is, you're at a Toastmasters meeting preparing to be evaluated. In reality, the most profound and painful criticism that we'll ever face is our own. And I know this because I've faced a lot of this self-criticism around the areas of intimate relationships. Some people might consider me a failure because I've been through 2 divorces and several long-term relationships that just didn't work out. These caused me some amount of pain and, of course, frustration. It makes sense that fear is going to raise its ugly head every time I go on a date. And this is what it looks like. So I get a phone call asking me to go out to dinner, let's say. I agree, but as soon as I hang up the phone, my mind is calculating all the ways that things could possibly go wrong. I'm thinking about this potential partnership, the possible problems, all the red flags come up. I'm thinking about all of his shortcomings, bad habits, and of course a few of my own. Yeah. So I've been to the altar and to the attorney's office before we even order drinks. Yeah. It really is that bad. Fear has me around the neck, and I know it. I experienced this in the recent weeks moving up to a date. I caught myself thinking around all those negative things. And I'm like, come on, Tracy, are you crazy? It's just one date. One date. So I was angry at myself, and I demanded, what is it going to take for you to get over your fears of falling in love again? Because we all want that, right? Even if we are a little bit afraid. So I got quiet, and I went into meditation looking for the answer. And it came to me. You know, I don't always like the answer, but it does always come. I thought, what if I could approach this dating and relationship thing as an opportunity to give instead of to get? Now, I know what you're thinking. You know, like, what does giving have to do with releasing our fears? But let me explain. Most of us have been raised with that notion that it's better to give than to receive. We learned that giving is something that we should do for others, right? Because we should. But I'm here to tell you that's only half of the story. Giving actually helps us as much as it helps that person that we're trying to help. Giving frees us from the need to And it's that idea that causes us the most fear and anxiety. Think about it. Think about the last time that you tried to help a friend, or even just held the door for a stranger. Were you wondering if you did it correctly? Were you trying to be perfect? I doubt it. Instead of thinking, what do I have to do or be or have in order to get love and approval, what if I could just approach this dating thing with that same spirit of giving where I don't have to prove who I am? Ben Zander, in his book, The Art of Possibility, suggests that we should all cast ourselves into our future as a contributor, like a pebble into the pond. What he means is that if we approach each and every day as an opportunity to give, that we make ourselves available, the universe will use us. We won't always know where we're going to land or who will have an opportunity to help, but like the ripples on the water when a stone is cast out there, we will have a positive impact on the world. So we would all do well, not just in certain circumstances and with certain people, to cast ourselves as contributors. Because giving helps us rise above our limited views of who we are. It gives us an opportunity to show up bigger and better than we can even imagine. Giving helps us feel valued in the moment. That when we take what we have available today and we put it to good use, it makes us feel good. Giving helps us get rid of comparison and competition, because there is no right or wrong to giving. It just is what it is. That feeling that we get from being a contributor is what fulfillment is really about. Giving fills the gaps in our abundance meter, that thing that helps determine our self-worth and our value. So the next time that you see fear coming at you down the sidewalk, I want you to hold the door open for that sucker and let it walk right on through. Because you have nothing in this life to prove. You're just going to give what you have to give today, and it will always, always be enough.